guys, I'd like to start the series, and it looks like Beyond Letters is going to win. It's the first handout in the series, so of course there'll be more. The idea is I want to give you one handout a week to help you out with your students' pronunciation problems. I'll be creating posts where I'll ask you to write down words that your students have problems with, and then I'm going to turn them into like these mini handouts to allow you to practice these words with them. So the idea is you're conducting a regular class with your students, and then you're left with 5-10 minutes. So why not have a pronunciation session? Why not help them out with words that you know they may have issues with, or you know they have issues with? So the first handout that I want to give you is connected with the infamous 4 words beer, beard, bear, bird, which are a huge problem to many students, where people say bird for a beard and beer for a bear and so on. So what I've prepared for you here is a nice handout, very visual, where you can basically help the students remember the differences by looking at pictures. So first of all, we have the list of vocabulary at the top. Ear, bed, beer, beard, bear, bird, burn. Now, the first thing you could do is just ask the students, how would you read these words? The symbol here, this little, let's say, wavy image, is for you to fold the page if you want to give the students a little surprise, or you want to unravel the handout step by step, right? So they read the words as they would normally read them, probably with mistakes. Then they uncover part of the handout and they see the equations. So basically it's very simple. We have beer. Students usually know how to pronounce beer. I wonder why. But just to be sure, it is included here. So we have a B plus ear equals beer. We have a beard, so we have beer plus D is beard. Then we have a bear, so we have a bed, we delete the D, we add an R, so we have a bear. And we have the word burn, we delete the N, we add the D, and we have bird. So very simple. The pictures help the students remember the sound better. So as a handout, it can be hung somewhere on their wall if they have issues with these words, or they can basically glue it into their notebooks if you know they're disorganized. So you can practice that with them based on the images, based on the equations here. Beer, bear, bird, beard, and so on and so forth. And then if you want to uncover the third part of the handout, you could try to teach them to associate these words with specific things. So what I usually do is I tell my students, okay, if you don't know how to pronounce beard, picture a man with a beard drinking beer. So if you know how to pronounce beer, and most of you know how to pronounce beer, then think of this man. Think about this man. He's quite hairy. He's drinking his beer. He might be a lumberjack, quite muscular in his little like checkered shirt. So imagine that guy. And if he's drinking beer and he has a beard, then the pronunciation will be beard. Then you can imagine a bear in a bed. So Goldilocks and the 3 bears, right? So you imagine that bear in a bed. You know how to pronounce bed. It's one of the easiest words in English you probably start with. So you have a bear in a bed, be. And then the third image, you can see a burning bird, right? So if you know the word burn and you're able to say burn, but you still don't know how to say bird, then imagine that it's a burning bird. So you would say a burning bird, a bird. So that's very simple, just to associate the problematic words in a specific context. And then you might create a story with them. So there once was a man who had a beard. He went to a bar to drink a beer. On his way there, he saw a little house, and in that house there was a bear who was sleeping in a bed. That really surprised him. But what surprised him even more was a burning bird that was hanging over that bed. I realize this story makes no sense. So if the students give the words a context, create a little story, or at least remember the images, like the images you see on the handout here, it'll be much easier for them to remember these problematic words. Beer, beard, bear, bird. This was Beyond Letters, handout number 1. Have fun. Let me know what you think about the handout.